Welcome back to He Said, She Said. We've got Coach Ron Tunick and his beautiful wife, Ellen, here. We're going to talk now. If you have kids in public school, private school, whichever one, you're going to want to stay tuned right now, as we're going to talk with Tammy, who is a teacher, and there's a lot to be said about this issue.
Well, before we do that, we got to give a shout out to Sarah over at CPK. She was our waitress. She was 23 years
Yay,
old.
Sarah!
And gorgeous.
Thank you, Sarah, for a great lunch today.
Great
Everybody
lunch.
wants to know who Robin is. We have standing room only in the studio. Robin is our daughter. Robin Shoemaker is our daughter. So, and a big part of our show.
Absolutely.
You know why she's a big part? Because she brings in a generation that we are trying to understand, the millennials.
I don't think we ever will, but that's okay.
All right, so Tammy Holtz Butler or Tammy Butler, what do you like? What last name are you going with today?
Oh, I guess Butler today.
Tammy Butler. Mm-hmm. You're married to a police officer, happily married. I met your husband. I mean, first of all, I tried to hire you. That didn't work out. So you go home and tell your husband.
He tries to hire everybody.
I do.
On the spot.
you go home and you tell your husband, I met this old dog's trying to hire me, and he immediately goes, "You're not going to." You're
who
not.
is that?
No,
I want to meet him.
She goes home and he says to her, "You're not going to the office by yourself. I'm coming with you." So she brings him.
I like him already.
I did.
She brings him to the office, and he looks like a Navy SEAL. He just looks like exactly what.
Were you scared?
No. Little scared.
Come on.
Little scared. No, but I mean, within 5 minutes we were chatting.
You guys were
I mean,
in love. You had a bromance.
Your hubby
right
is
bromance.
your hubby is a man's man. I will say that he's absolutely a man's man, and pray to God he comes home every night for the next 50 years to you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this subject. All of our kids went to private school.
Excuse me.
Did our kids go to school?
None of our kids went to private school.
And one sitting right here, and I don't ever remember wearing a uniform or being dropped off at a private school.
We have 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy.
I thought
Not
they went,
one of them
really?
went to private school.
I thought they went to private school.
Coach, you're in trouble when
What?
you get home. Just
Really?
let you know.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
I don't know. My kids might be different than your kids.
maybe did our grandkids go to private school? That's the
Skipped a
rub
generation.
of the deal. So I went to public school. You can tell that by just meeting me, my vocabulary, everything, right?
Mostly by his spelling.
I am America's worst speller. So back to you,
I
school
follow your
teacher.
lead.
So you won the School Teacher of the Year award at your school, right?
Sure.
Woohoo.
And did you get a raise?
No.
Did you get a plaque?
I got a piece of paper.
No hardware?
It wasn't even a plaque. No hardware.
No hardware.
No hardware.
And they tried to cut your salary.
They tried to cut my salary
Can you
right
believe
after
that?
I should do it because I love teaching, and I do. I love a lot of things, but I need to pay some bills. So
Now, are you in a public school or private school?
at that time, I was in a private school, and being a private school teacher, I found out a lot of things as I wouldn't have known if I, didn't teach there. Just parent, if I was just a parent, I had so many misconceptions of what private school is. And now I'm like shouting it from the rooftops.
What was the biggest misconception?
That every single teacher is credentialed.
I find that amazing. I find that within the private school we were at, we ended up with a lot of parents who were still maybe taking some teaching classes in as our aides or fill in as teachers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And I will say this. The people that I worked with are nice. The people that were credentialed teachers that are in, and this is just from my experience, not every single school is like this, but most private schools are. They are men and women that are teaching for whatever reason, but they don't have the credentials behind it. The reason I went to private school is when I moved up to this valley, there was not a public school teaching job to be had. Oh, no. So scrambling, what do I do? So I said, I'll take what I could get. I'll take this private school. And every single teacher that was there that had a credential, it was for the same reason. It wasn't
You couldn't get a
because
job in the public schools out here.
of any other reason, but we had to take it. So out of my whole school, there was 4 teachers that were credentialed.
Now, is this because of the tenure situation in our public schools, that teachers that should not be teaching anymore because they're burned out, they're not relevant anymore, still have priority over newer, newly educated teachers?
I think that's a factor, but I think that budgeting and money is the biggest reason why there's not jobs for us, for me,
Well,
especially
remember,
now.
We used to have in our public schools, we had PE teachers, we had music programs.
Sure.
We don't have any of that.
Cutting
And
all that.
It's all gone. So just being a teacher and trying to get in is hard enough as it is.
Is that why the private schools are growing, because they offer more curriculum, or is it a cultural thing? I mean, there's something is going on. I mean, the Santa Clarita Valley is full of private schools, and it's expensive.
Well,
really expensive.
It is really expensive if you think about it. But the public schools are taking away all those extra classes. The private schools are boosting all those extra to the point where when I was teaching, the kids were taken away from our class probably at least 3 hours of the day.
Absolutely.
And so the core curriculum is not being taught for 3 hours a day. And it's not being taught. And I'm telling you, a credential is just a piece of paper if you don't know how to use it. There's some people out there that aren't credentialed that are great teachers that it's just innate. It's in them. But have that backed up with a credential and all that knowledge, what a fantastic teacher that would be. So people are leaving the public school sector to go to private and charter schools. We can't forget about the charter schools.
Absolutely.
And they feel like they are getting more. And they might be on paper, but what is the quality of the more that they're getting?
So in your evaluation of an educational process for our children, if all we can do is focus on the core education versus the extracurricular subject matter, do you feel the level of importance lays in that core subject matter more than it does in creating a wider, more broader stroke for our children?
Well, here's the thing. Why can't you create that broad stroke outside of the school? Why can't you have your child in
In an art class, in a science program.
outside of school, get that foundation solid with the common core classes, and then bring all that other stuff from outside? It will be cheaper than what you're paying monthly
Absolutely.
for private school. I guarantee
Here's
that.
my rub, and you got to come back. You're gonna be a cast member. I don't know why I can't hear myself again, but you're gonna be a cast member and come back many times. But here's my rub. So the deal with the private school is when you check in, and Robin knows this. Well, we got to test your kid, and we want to make sure that your kid's going to fit into our school. They go through all this BS stuff. I'm not mentioning any
who's
schools.
grading the tests. That's
Right.
Exactly.
Who's
Come on.
grading the test?
Come on.
And what our family experienced is there was just as many idiot kids and parents in the private school,
If not more.
if not more, than there were in the public school.
And
So I'm getting angst on here.
I will tell you, as a teacher, I'm generalizing, 2 types of students. One is the parents honestly think this is the best for their child. They're going to get a higher, more accelerated. They're going to be introduced to more concepts and master those concepts.
and they're going to be with better kids, which is just a bunch of
right.
malarkey.
And then there's the students that couldn't hack it, and hack is a horrible word for a child for me to use, but they couldn't
make it in the
they
public.
couldn't make it in the public school, and it's the teacher's fault.
So
and
they pay to educate their child.
they pay to get their kid put through the grades.
I can't agree more. I would have to say, being a parent with 2 children who have gone through private school, I found there's those 2 families. There was those ones that were there actually there's probably 3 types. I'd say there's ones that are there just for money and for the name of a private school.
There you go. Okay.
There are those other ones that really do feel this education is going to be superior compared to a public school. And then there are a lot of the kids that just walk in because mommy was mad at that teacher in
They were
3rd
kicked
grade.
out. They were expelled.
They got in a fight with someone.
They have ADHD, whatever.
All right. Well, we'll talk about this through the summer. All right, coming back, we're going to take a quick little break. Going to come back. the next half an hour on the show, I think, is going to be exceptional in this regard. We're going to talk about food and binging. And then after that, we're going to talk about something called unfinished business on the show we called He Said, She Said on KHTS. I'm in the studio with 4 beautiful ladies, my wife, Ellen, my daughter, Robin, Tammy, and I can't tell you who the other person is.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. All right, you'll see it. I think our show's being videoed, isn't it, Kyle? So you'll see. Well, you may not see her.
Well,
All right.
She's hiding.
She's hiding. We'll be right back.
We are back on He Said, She Said, KHTS 1220 with Coach and his beautiful wife, Ellen. We're going to change it up a little bit. Let's go a little fun. Let's talk about food binge. A little bit of an eating topic here. Coach, what would be yours?
Well, before we do that, somebody asked me a few minutes ago, what'd you guys talk about yesterday? So I said to Elle, you got to have a good pool person. I think we do. You got to have a good attorney, and you got to have a good computer person.
Absolutely.
And we love Adage IT. I know they're big with the station, but I just got to give a shout out to Adage IT. If you need a computer guy, tell you Jeremy's the guy over at Adage IT. All right, back to food binging. So this we were
Not
discussing.
binging.
Yeah.
Not binging. Binges.
I would if Tammy said it too just 30 seconds ago. If nobody was looking,
In
I
the
would
closet.
in the closet half a quart of ice cream.
So you're an ice cream guy.
Yeah, chocolate mint.
Chocolate mint.
Okay.
Half a gallon. No problem.
Is wine a food category?
Absolutely.
What?
Definitely
Oh.
is. It's made from grapes.
Never mind.
Hello?
I changed my.
Did you just change
You
your
did your
idea?
answer?
I just flip-flopped big time.
Mine would be a nice bottle of Pinot Noir. That's my binge.
'Cause that-
But it has to have chips with it. I have to have some chips.
You need a little salt with that wine.
A little salt with the beautiful velvety.
So that's what you would binge on wine?
Absolutely.
Wine and chips.
Yeah, wine and chips.
You too?
I'm a happy camper.
No, I'm not the wine and chips. I like mixing it up. Gosh,
One
we're gonna
food.
come off-
You're not going to pick
I
5
can't.
foods.
We're going to come off like big old alcoholics on here, but
That's okay.
I mean, if I had to choose between a whole chocolate cake and a drink, I'm going for the drink every time.
Me too.
Really?
I like
Hands
you,
down.
Tammy.
What?
Hands
You
down.
just said chocolate cake
Well,
in the break.
But she had to make a choice.
Women lie, Coach. That should be another top. Women lie.
We'll have that topic all through the season. Robin?
Mistress?
You know, I'm really sad. I will save calories all day to get that great margarita at the end of the day.
oh,
So I have 3 drunks with me. This
Very
is
much.
fun.
yeah.
That's
No wonder
fun.
you're having such a good time.
We're all married, Coach.
But think
so
about it.
let's
about
add
it.
that together.
The stress that we're under in the course of an entire day.
Is that because you're living with men?
Absolutely.
men and children for these 2 ladies? Think about the stress.
What
in the
about
course
your
of a
children?
day.
What about you? Call me a 9-year-old half the time.
That's why I drink.
All right, you're listening to He Said, She Said at KHTS 1220 AM. So glad to have you aboard. So this is kind of a serious subject. It's interesting, this subject. We're going to title it Unfinished Business because I think most of us have unfinished business. I know my wife does, my beautiful wife, and Tammy. I know you 2 are huddling up. You must have some unfinished business.
We do.
And Robin,
Everyone.
you're too young to probably.
No,
have.
No,
not.
I had unfinished business, and then I actually got to marry him. So I'm
Oh,
pretty happy.
God. Holy moly!
That's a good
And
tease
that's
Holy
right
my
there.
moly.
son-in-law.
Yeah, Kyle, are you too young to have unfinished? Do you have any unfinished business?
I don't think so.
So
I
no.
don't know. Maybe I don't know. Ask my wife. My wife's in charge of that.
So I'll just start it off.
She'll let you know.
I'll start it off for like 10 seconds. So when I go to heaven, I want to talk to my grandfather again. I want to apologize to him for not being a better teenager. You know, as he got older, his name was Harry. As he got older, he got like the old guy, get off my lawn type of thing, and I kind of pulled away. I mean, most 18 to 21-year-old kids pull away, so I pulled away. But I loved my grandfather. I still
He knew that.
I hope
For
he-
me, that's not unfinished business.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So are we taking a break and come back with Mary? Is that what we're doing?
yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
You want to take a break? All right. We're going to come right back. This is really an interesting subject for all of us. All of us have unfinished business. You're listening to He Said, She Said. We'll be right back with one of my favorite guests of all time talking about this subject. We'll be right back.